Recently, Turkey launched a strike against Kurds living in northern Syria. Who are these Kurds and why is Turkey attacking them? What role did Kurdish fighters play in the complex war against ISIS? Let's analyze in this week's video. Kurds are one of the indigenous people of the Mesopotamian plains. At an estimated 35 million population, they are the world's largest stateless ethnic group. Throughout history, Kurds have been known for their valor, serving as mercenaries in many armies. The most infamous among them is Saladin, who founded the Ayyubid dynasty and repelled Richard the Lionheart and his crusaders. Today, they are spread around 5 countries. Although most of them are Sunni Muslims, a few practice Sufism and other faiths. To answer the question as to why they don't have a state, we should go back 100 years into the past. After World War I, the defeated Ottoman Empire had their territory taken by the Allied powers. This was called as the Treaty of Sevre. Despite Kurds' pleas for a country covering a region now in 5 countries, the Allies gave them a small portion of land which is now in modern-day Turkey. Turkey negotiated with the Allied powers, and in 1923, the Treaty of Lausanne overtook Sevre and entered the idea of a self-governing Kurdistan. Over the decades that followed, the Kurds made repeated attempts at establishing a de facto Kurdistan with defined national borders, and in the process attracted massive repression. In Turkey, the very word Kurd was banned. They are still called Mountain Turks. Parents were banned to give Kurd names to their children. Bans were placed on their songs, culture, and to even learn their native language. Many were stripped of their citizenship, and many more were killed in cold blood. Iraq, Syria, and Iran too followed this trend, with Saddam Hussein being the most brutal. He killed almost 2 lakh people between 1986 to 1989. Thus, over the next 80 years, any move by Kurds to set up an independent state was brutally quashed. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The repressions on Kurds finally boiled over into a full-scale armed revolt. In Turkey in 1978, the Marxist revolutionary Abdullah Öcalan formed the Kurdistan Workers' Party (PKK) with the aim of setting up an independent Kurdistan. PKK guerrillas fought the Turkish army from 1984 until Öcalan's capture in 1999, during which 40,000 Kurdish civilians were killed. Sporadic terrorist attacks continued until 2013, when the PKK finally declared a ceasefire. But this didn't last long. The ceasefire collapsed in July 2015 after a suicide bombing blamed on IS killed 33 young Kurd activists in the town of Suruc near the Syrian border. The PKK accused the authorities of complicity and attacked Turkish soldiers and police. The Turkish government subsequently launched what it called a synchronized war on terror against both the PKK and IS following this. Situation was a bit better in Iraq. Kurds made up an estimated 15 to 20% of Iraq's population. In 1946, Mustafa Barzani formed the Kurdistan Democratic Party to fight for autonomy in Iraq. But it was not until 1961 that he launched a full armed struggle. In the late 1970s, the government began settling Arabs in areas with Kurdish majorities, particularly around the oil-rich city of Kirkuk, and forcibly relocated Kurds. This was followed by Saddam and Chemical Ali's massacres of Kurds. When Iraq was defeated in the 1991 Gulf War, Barzani's son Masoud led a Kurdish rebellion which was suppressed violently. Kurds supported the US led invasion in 2003 that toppled Saddam. Kurdish self-governed zones were formed in Iraq following this. In September 2017, a referendum of independence was held in Iraqi Kurdistan region. More than 90% people supported this, but as of this date, the Iraqi central government is vehemently opposing any voice of partition. As the Islamic State swept across Syria and Iraq, the only fighters who were able to resist the onslaught were the Syrian Kurdish militias, the most powerful of which was the People's Protection Unit's YPG. In 2014, as the US joined the war against Daesh, it found in the YPG a helpful regional ally. From the US perspective, the Kurds also served as a military counterpoint against the Iranians and Russians and provided some leverage in a future deal to end the war. Once the Kurds, backed by the Americans, has forced Daesh out of northern Syria, they took over the recaptured land along the Syria-Turkey border. The YPG has close links with the PKK, and for Turkey this seemed like a serious security threat. During Obama's tenure, the US carefully handled the balancing act between YPG and its NATO ally Turkey. But in 2019, things changed. The US President Donald Trump finally pulled the plug on YPG, leading to an immediate invasion of the territories by Turkey. 3 years have passed since, and there seems no end to the casualty, refugees, and resettlement problems. The new Biden administration too seems uninterested in the area, leaving the Kurds in the mercy of the Turks, Syrians, and Russians. Will there ever be peace? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching. Will Kurds finally achieve their dream of statehood, or will they end up being washed in the geopolitical tide? Comment below. Like the video and subscribe to Cape Now.